Hi, I am Paul, welcome to my channel, Quality Life Mastery. Please subscribe to my channel and like and share the videos. Today we are going to learn about panic attacks. 1. What are panic attacks and what causes them? Many of us are familiar with the phrase panic attack. At the same time, many of us are not entirely sure what they are and what causes them. In the event you're dealing with a panic-related issue, the good news is you're certainly not alone. Panic attacks are probably much more common than people realize. It isn't unusual for individuals to suffer a one-time panic attack as a result of stress or a stressful situation. Additionally, over 2 million Americans between 18 and 54 experience some type of panic disorder each year. This means that they suffer from panic attacks on a regular basis. Read on to learn more about these attacks, panic disorder, and what causes each. What is a panic attack? Panic attacks are sudden, intense feelings of fear and anxiety. They can occur at any time, even when a person is otherwise feeling relaxed. They tend to last between 10 and 20 minutes, but the effects can linger for several hours. While panic attacks can be very uncomfortable and lead to emotional complications if they resurface frequently, typically they aren't physically dangerous. The actual physical effects of a panic attack differ from person to person and even from case to case. Symptoms that people commonly experience include chest pain and shortness of breath. These symptoms can easily be mistaken for those of a heart attack, especially if the person is suffering a panic attack for the first time. Other physical symptoms include faintness, nausea, hot flashes, lightheadedness, and dizziness. What causes panic attacks? While there are a number of factors that can contribute to a panic attack, the exact causes are unknown. Panic attacks can sometimes be caused by major changes or stressful situations in life, such as a new job or the loss of a family member. Certain people with phobias also experience panic attacks when they are exposed to whatever it is they are phobic to. Having a panic attack in a certain situation can also lead a person to think that that situation has the potential to bring on another attack. These cases are known as situationally bound panic attacks. Other factors can be more long-term and lead to the person being more prone to future panic attacks. People who experience psychological conditions such as anxiety disorders tend to experience panic attacks as well. These long-term, recurring cases are known as panic disorder. Panic disorders can affect anyone, but typically they affect young adults and they tend to occur more frequently in women than in men. They are usually treated through either psychological therapy, medication, or a combination of the two. Panic attacks can be confusing and scary, especially while they are occurring. But, knowing a bit about them is the first step to helping yourself to get through them. Other things that you can do are to work on breathing techniques and cut down on caffeine and smoking. Here's one last tip. Hyperventilating can make many of the symptoms of a panic attack worse, while controlled, deep breathing can help to relieve the symptoms. 2. Panic attacks versus panic disorder. Panic attacks are a sudden feeling of intense and disabling stress or anxiety. They tend to last anywhere between 10 minutes and several hours. A single panic attack isn't dangerous, even if it seems scary at the time. But, what about frequently recurring panic attacks? Could they be a sign of a bigger problem? Keep reading to find out. Panic attacks. The physical symptoms of a panic attack are caused by a response from the body's sympathetic nervous system. These symptoms are most commonly chest pain, shortness of breath, hot flashes, and dizziness, among others. They are often mistaken for a heart attack by the sufferer, especially if that person is experiencing their first episode. During a panic attack, the individual may feel as though he or she is losing control. The person may also feel a sense of impending doom or begin to feel detached either from themselves or from reality as a whole. While panic attacks are sometimes very severe, they tend to peak at around 10 to 20 minutes, with many of the symptoms fading within the hour. Oftentimes, the reason for the panic attack's occurrence is unclear even to the sufferer. Panic attacks such as this may be a one-time thing, or something that happens on very rare occasions. But, recurring cases of panic attacks could point to the sufferer having a panic disorder. Panic disorders. People suffering from panic disorders have frequent panic attacks. Unlike an occasional acute panic attack, these even more pronounced attacks are often tied to situations that have caused trouble before. The simple fear of having another panic attack in an uncomfortable recurring situation can cause enough anxiety to trigger a panic disorder. Think of it as a vicious circle of sorts. It's a circle that causes many people to totally avoid previous situations they've been in if they have caused a series of attacks. While the exact cause of panic disorders is unknown, they are still treatable. Most often, they are treated through therapy or with the aid of self-help strategies. These therapy sessions are typically enough to mitigate the problem, but medication may also be used in some circumstances. Not only that, but learning a bit more about what you're feeling during a panic attack can help you to feel more relaxed while they occur. Reading a book on anxiety or panic attacks can really help. However, the best course of action is generally to talk to your doctor or a mental health care professional. He or she is always the best choice to help put you on a path to recovery. Having a single panic attack isn't a sign of a panic disorder. In fact, it's typically far from it. On the other hand, an untreated panic disorder can lead to a much larger number of unhealthy panic attacks and possibly even further complications down the line. Please remember, if you feel like you are suffering from some type of panic disorder, seek help before the issue really starts to have a negative impact on your life. 3. Foods that help with anxiety and panic attacks. At first thought, it may not make sense that some foods actually help to reduce anxiety and panic attacks. But, luckily for those who deal with these conditions, it's really true. Of course, there's no way to completely eliminate the problem simply by eating and drinking certain things. However, every little bit helps. Consider adding the following options to your diet, for best results. Fruits and veggies. Fruits and vegetables are an excellent source of antioxidants. Antioxidants assist the body in keeping infections at bay. They also have something to do with mood balance and managing blood sugar more efficiently. If you're not especially fond of eating fruits and vegetables with your meal, why not try drinking them instead? Smoothies have been popular for years and will no doubt remain a favorite long into the future. It's possible to make a smoothie out of almost any kind of fruit and vegetable combination. Get a little bit creative and see what you can come up with. The choice is up to you. Probiotics. If you aren't familiar with probiotics, you're certainly not alone. They are teeny tiny specks of good bacteria that live in the intestine. One of the most popular, not to mention tasty, sources of probiotics is yogurt. In 2011, an Irish research study revealed that when mice were fed yogurt-related probiotics, they exhibited fewer behavioral traits associated with depression, stress and anxiety. If it helps mice, think what it will do for humans. However, further research is needed. Fish and poultry. Fish and poultry are essential to any well-balanced diet. Each of these choices provides a wide variety of nutrients, including vitamin B, zinc and iron. Fattier fish such as salmon and flounder are rich in omega-3 fatty acids or healthy fats. Healthy fats promote positive function of the brain, which is said to alleviate symptoms of depression as well as anxiety. Avoid coffee and caffeinated drinks. Probably the last piece of advice you want to read is to avoid coffee and other caffeinated drinks as much as possible. However, avoiding these is important when it comes to anxiety-related mental health and warding off panic attacks. While caffeine typically helps to boost energy levels, it also inhibits levels of serotonin in your brain. When serotonin levels are lower than necessary, you start to feel irritable and depressed, even if you don't realize it. Caffeine also keeps you awake and makes you go to the restroom more frequently. This often leads to dehydration that, in turn, can also cause depression. If you can't live without beverages including coffee, tea and soda, try to go the decaffeinated route to see what happens. It may take some time to get used to the switch. But, in the long run, it's a much healthier option. Panic attacks are certainly no fun. These episodes of extreme fear can come to life without a moment's notice. By adapting your menu using the above tips, you're taking a more active role at lessening the possibility of anxiety and panic attacks ruining your day. 4. What should you do for someone who is having a panic attack? When someone experiences a panic attack, it's usually scarier for that person to go through it alone. One exception to this might be if that same individual is panicking because he or she has difficulty being around people. If that isn't the case and you're with someone who is requesting assistance, there are numerous things you can do to help. These are just a few of them. Keep them calm. Having a panic attack can be a very scary and confusing experience. One of the best things you can do for someone who is suffering from one of them is to help the individual stay calm. Come up with a simple activity you can do with them. This gives him or her something to focus on. It can be something as easy as lifting your arms or counting to 10. If possible, find something that's a bit more challenging for them to do. The sense of accomplishment they feel when they finish the task should help to make them feel more in control. Get the person to a quiet place. Getting over a panic attack is all about calming down, which can be hard to do in a noisy or chaotic location. Try to encourage the person to move to a calm and quiet place, if they are willing to do so. Consider asking if there is a certain place they'd like to relocate to and help them get there if possible. However, don't be too forceful about it. Doing so might potentially make the situation worse. Help them breathe. People who are having a panic attack tend to hyperventilate, especially if it's the first time they are experiencing the sensation. Shallow, rapid breaths cause the amount of carbon dioxide in the bloodstream to fall. This can lead to symptoms such as headache, weakness, dizziness, or tingling in the hands and feet. When people experience these symptoms, they often feel like they aren't getting enough air, which causes them to hyperventilate even more. Encourage the panic attack sufferer to take slow, deep breaths by doing so yourself. Inhale slowly, count to 3, then exhale slowly and repeat. Chances are good that this will have a positive effect. Stay with the individual. When someone is having a panic attack, they may feel like they want to be alone. But, the best thing that you can do for them is to stay with them and keep them calm. Remind them that you are there to help them. They may say things to you that are rude or aggressive, but try to keep in mind that they're very upset and don't mean everything that they say. Take care of yourself. If the person you're trying to calm down sees that you start to panic, it can make things even worse. It's perfectly normal to feel stressed out or have an elevated concern for your friend during this situation. But, you need to make sure that you stay calm and in control. Quite honestly, it's the best way to help. Of course, these aren't the only methods to help someone who is having a panic attack. Everyone responds to different things. If the first thing doesn't work, try something else. The most important thing to do is to try. 5. Tips for dealing with panic disorder in the workplace. No time is ever a good time to experience a panic attack. The physical symptoms can be very debilitating, and the anxiety that accompanies an attack can make it difficult to make any decisions at all. Because of this, the fear of having a panic attack in the workplace can be particularly troublesome to someone with panic disorder. Here are a few tips that may help you to manage this issue while you're working. Trust in a coworker. Panic attacks can be difficult to go through alone. especially if you've only recently started suffering from this particular disorder. If you feel you know any of your coworkers enough to trust them, confide in someone about your condition. Not only does it feel good to be accepted, but your friend may also be willing to help calm you down when you need it. Always have a plan. Being unorganized and unprepared at work will set you up for a stressful day. Come up with a plan for yourself at the beginning of the week. Make sure to manage your time wisely, and leave yourself a bit of time to take a break between each commitment. Maintain a healthy lifestyle. The food that you eat can have a profound impact on your mood. Try to eat a balanced diet and keep alcohol and caffeine consumption to a minimum. Getting enough sleep is another important, and also overlooked, factor. For most people, this means shooting for roughly 8 hours of sleep per night. Know when to take a break. If a particularly difficult project is getting to you, don't be afraid to step away so you can clear your head. Take a trip to the break room, take a walk around the park, or simply meditate or do some breathing exercises. You'll come back refreshed and with a clear perspective. Reward your successes. If you're successful at work, take a moment to celebrate your achievement. Acknowledging your accomplishments helps you to keep a positive frame of mind throughout the day. Set realistic goals. Achieving your goals makes you feel good. Failing to reach your goals, on the other hand, can be frustrating and stressful. When you plan out your workday, set goals for yourself that are meaningful but still achievable. Look into employer resources. If you're having a hard time at work, communicate with your employer or supervisor so that you can get the help you need. You may be able to sign up for skill-building classes or an employee assistance program. Even if no formal assistance is available, your supervisor may be able to offer guidance or assistance so you can get a handle on things more easily. Keeping these tips in mind throughout the day can help to reduce workplace stress, and avoid the kind of situations that could lead to a panic attack. However, panic disorder is a serious issue, and can be very difficult to treat by yourself. If you experience panic attacks regularly, consider talking to a mental health care professional to see what sort of treatment is best for you. 6. How to stop panic attacks naturally. Panic attacks are typically the result of high levels of anxiety or stress. Unfortunately, no one is immune to the possibility of a panic attack. The uncomfortable and sometimes debilitating experience can strike at any time. On a brighter note, should the problem occur, there are several things you can try to ward off panic attacks naturally, by way of reducing your anxiety. Here are some anxiety busters to consider. Chamomile. Chamomile is a herb containing anti-anxiety properties, and it is commonly brewed into tea. Some of the calming compounds found in chamomile work by binding to receptors in the brain. These same receptors are the ones that respond to drugs such as Xanax and Valium. Chamomile, with its mildly sedating attributes, has been utilized for centuries as a natural aid as well. The herb is often included in anxiety-related medical studies. Results are promising when compared to placebos. Part of the ragweed family, chamomile can also be found in pill or powdered substance form. Lavender. Lavender scent has been used for centuries to calm nerves and fight anxiety. As with chamomile, clinical studies indicate that lavender aromatherapy is a suitable non-drug alternative to combating feelings of nervousness. One such study, published in Phytomedicine, revealed that lavender oil was equally or almost as effective as lorazepam, without the dangerous side effects. It's also considerably less expensive than pharmaceutical products. Vitamin B12. When the body doesn't get enough vitamin B12, some say you are more susceptible to panic attacks and depression in general. Reversing a B12 deficiency is quite simple. You can use a doctor-prescribed nasal spray or get an injection. If you're not fond of needles, why not consume your vitamin B12? It's found in a variety of foods such as grass-fed beef liver, yogurt, shrimp, venison, eggs, wild salmon and lamb. Let the dinner bell ring. Valerian. Valerian is a sweet-scented flowering herb that grows in the summer. It's been used for medicinal purposes since ancient times. Today, it's often taken in the form of a dietary capsule, as a sedative and sleep aid. Valerian is frequently combined with lemon balm or hops in effort to increase the effects of the herbs. Kava kava. Kava kava is a Polynesian plant that is commonly used to ease one's worried mind. The roots are brewed to create a drink that is sedative in nature. This beverage often replaces alcohol as a treatment for social anxiety. Why? The answer is simple. Kava kava calms but does not alter mental cognition. Omega-3 supplement. Dietary omega-3 supplements are popular as part of almost any supplement routine. Omega-3 has anti-inflammatory properties, which makes it good for heart health. It's also been shown to reduce the symptoms of anxiety and depression. So, it's a suitable way to help in the fight against panic attacks. Now that you're armed with several ways you can attempt to stop panic attacks naturally, it's time to begin making progress. If one suggestion doesn't work, simply move on to the next one. It won't happen overnight, but, with patience you should start to notice a difference. 7. How to stop panic attacks before they start. Panic attacks are typically described as sudden and extreme bouts of fear and apprehension. While these attacks can happen at any time, stressful or traumatic situations can make you more prone to experiencing them. That being said, one major thing you can do to help fend off future panic attacks is to learn how to manage stress properly. Here are a few tips to get you started. Count to 10. Unfortunately, you don't always make the best decisions in the face of stress or a crisis. When a stressful situation comes your way, step away from the problem and count to 10. Use this time to collect yourself and think about the decision that's right for you. Practice deep breathing. Deep or abdominal breathing is the way your body naturally breathes when you are relaxed. Deep breathing comes from movement in the abdomen, rather than the chest movement that accompanies shallow breathing. When an individual gets stressed, he or she generally tends to take rapid, shallow breaths. This, in turn, elevates stress and can easily trigger a panic attack. Watch out for stressor. Make a list of the things in your life that frequently cause you stress. Then try to come up with a plan to deal with, or get through, these situations the next time they come up. Having a plan will make uncomfortable issues much less stressful to deal with. Start an exercise routine. Exercising a bit each day goes a long way toward improving both your physical and mental health. You don't need to adopt an intense, rigorous routine. Even 30 minutes of walking, jogging, swimming, or a similar activity every day will give you a workout and also establish a daily routine. This well-structured routine makes life feel more ordered and controlled, keeping stressful chaos to a minimum. Turn to friends. Panic attacks are very difficult to deal with alone. If you have a friend or family member who you trust to share your feelings with, ask if he or she is willing to lend you a hand. Chances are the answer will be yes. Whether this person helps you deal with your stressor or simply gives you someone to talk to, having support is a great comfort. Just make sure that the person you confide in isn't connected to the things that generally stress you out. For example, if your co-workers are causing your stress, talk to a friend outside of work. Avoid stressful situations. When you feel that something is causing you stress, each time you find yourself dealing with it, it's best to do everything you can to avoid the issue. If you're getting stressed out at work, this might mean saying no when people try to pile additional responsibilities on you. The bad news is this, though, you can't avoid an unpleasant situation forever. You still need to deal with the problems you've avoided once you feel more up to it. There isn't anything you can do to guarantee you'll be free of panic attacks. But, taking control of the stressor in your life will keep you from feeling overwhelmed or out of control. Just remember to take it one day at a time, and breathe. 8. How to stop panic attacks while on the road. Panic attacks are a very debilitating experience. But, they can be especially overwhelming when you happen to be behind the wheel. It's normal to feel some anxiety while driving. In fact, many drivers wind up having a panic attack at some point during their driving career. Unfortunately, the symptoms of the condition can make driving even more difficult and potentially dangerous. That being said, please follow these steps to manage anxiety and keep your cool while driving. Turn up the radio. Give yourself something to focus on other than the stresses of maneuvering your vehicle. The easiest way to do this is to listen to the radio or a music streaming service. You might even want to try an audiobook. But, whatever you choose to listen to, make sure it isn't too loud or distracting. You don't want to take too much of your attention off of the road. Doing so can lead to a whole new set of difficulties. Drive responsibly. Driving safely is a sure way to reduce driving stress. When you drive aggressively or break the rules of the road, you have to worry about causing an accident or being arrested, in addition to the other complications of driving. Also, if you're not great with directions, make sure you have a GPS at your disposal. That way, you won't have to worry about navigational abilities. If you currently don't use a GPS device, you really don't know what you're missing. Keep breathing under control. During a panic attack, people often take quick, shallow breaths because they feel like they aren't getting enough air. But, hyperventilating like this can actually make anxiety symptoms worse. The best thing to do is to focus on slowing down your breathing. Breathing deep from your diaphragm helps as well. Count to 5 as you breathe in, hold your breath for 3 seconds, then breathe out as you count to 5. Typically, the sooner you get your breathing under control, the sooner the attack will begin to dissipate. Pull over, if necessary. While panic attacks can be scary, the feeling should pass within 5 minutes or so. Remember, these attacks generally don't last longer than 10 minutes tops. But, if you feel too anxious to drive, you should pull over to the side of the road. An even better option might be stopping at a rest area or fast food restaurant. Grabbing a bite to eat or a cold drink might help to calm you down a little. Drive often. The more often you drive, the more comfortable you will feel behind the wheel. Try to drive a little bit every day. Stick to roads and areas you're familiar with while you practice. If you drive often enough, many of the things you have to do will become second nature, which will probably reduce the driving-related anxiety you may feel. Although you can't completely eliminate the possibility of having a panic attack when you're on the road, these things are sure to aid you in reducing the chance. Remember, you only live once. You need to explore the world, while you can. 9. How to keep college-related stress from causing a panic attack. College can be a very stressful time. In addition, the higher levels of anxiety can mean an increased chance of having a panic attack. While panic attacks are not ultimately harmful, they can be very debilitating and especially difficult to deal with while attending classes. Here are a few tips on keeping stress to a minimum while you're away at school. Get plenty of sleep. Studies show that many college students don't get enough sleep, which negatively impacts overall academic performance. Sleep deprivation can hinder your memory and cognitive skills, as well as increase your level of anxiety. The best thing you or any college student can do to fight sleep deprivation is to come up with a schedule and stick to it. Even if you have late in the day classes or no classes on the weekend, try to go to sleep at around the same time every night to keep your body accustomed to proper sleep patterns. Know when to take a break. If college-related stress starts to feel overwhelming, take a break to clear your head. Try any or all of these suggestions. Find a quiet place and relax, or consider picking up a hobby or recreational activity to give yourself something to do when you start to feel strained. You might even join a school-related club to give yourself an outlet. However, be careful not to let taking a break become an excuse for not doing work. Falling behind in your studies usually leads to even more stress when it comes time to actually get around to doing it. Be prepared for exams. For many college students, exam time means panic and frantic studying. Don't let major projects or exams catch you off guard. Go over each course syllabus at the beginning of the term and mark the dates of any major projects that are listed. Also make sure to take advantage of any study sheets or advice your professor may give out around exam time. When it comes to actually taking the exams, try to maintain a positive frame of mind. Focus on the questions in front of you, rather than how your friends are doing or your overall results. Remember, hyperventilating can trigger panic. Always take a moment to calm down if your breathing becomes rapid or shallow. Ask for help. Anxiety can be difficult to deal with if you have to face it alone. Whether it's a friend, a counselor, or family member, find someone who you can talk to when things get tough. Let that person know what they can do to help you, whether it's tutoring, transportation, or simply lending a listening ear. If you experience frequent panic attacks, it may mean that you are suffering from panic disorder. In this case, you may want to consider talking to a physician or therapist who can help you to manage your anxiety and keep panic attacks in check. Whatever you do, don't let your fear of possible panic attacks keep you from furthering your education. Countless students who deal with stress and anxiety almost daily still manage to graduate every year. If they can be successful, so can you. 10. How to stop panic attacks while pregnant. Despite feelings of anxiety and stress being perfectly normal for expectant mothers, panic attacks are no fun, especially when you're already dealing with the challenges and ups and downs of pregnancy. Here are the symptoms of panic attacks and a few tips to help you kick them to the curb as quickly as possible. Symptoms of panic attacks. The symptoms of panic attacks and anxiety are the same. However, panic attack symptoms are amplified and happen suddenly. Chances are if you're hit with intense, overwhelming feelings of anxiety for no obvious reason, you are experiencing a panic attack. Unlike anxiety, which may be a constant problem, a panic attack only lasts for up to 10 minutes. Some symptoms of panic attacks include feeling like you are unable to breathe, shaking, tension or pain in your muscles, feeling scared that your life may be in danger, or something terrible is going to happen, sweating, racing heartbeat, double vision or dizziness, numbness or tingling sensation in limbs. Techniques for calming panic attacks. Remember to breathe. When you're experiencing a panic attack, one of the first things to focus on is your breathing. Inhale slowly and deeply, and exhale completely. It may help clear your mind faster to count to 3 during each breath. Breathe with your stomach rather than your chest, so that your stomach moves with each and every breath. Focus on positive thoughts. Focusing all of your attention to one positive, happy thought or object helps to ease you out of your panic attack. It can be a memory or fantasy, something in the environment, or even something you're looking forward to in the future. By directing all of your attention to one specific idea, your mind will stop racing to every worrisome thought and start to calm down. Keep in mind that everyone is different and you need to find what works for you. For example, while some may choose to listen to soothing music to help them with panic attacks, others may need complete silence in order for the episode to pass. Reassure yourself. During a panic attack, it's important to remind yourself that you and your baby are going to be okay. Although it may feel like you're under great physical and mental harm, panic attacks are not dangerous for you or your baby. Long-term techniques for anxiety and panic attacks. Diet and exercise. While it is important to maintain a healthy diet and exercise throughout your whole life as well as while you're pregnant, it may also help reduce the risk of panic attacks. It is highly recommended that you avoid stimulants such as alcohol, cigarettes and even caffeine while pregnant. Not only are stimulants bad for your baby, but they can also make anxiety issues and panic attacks all that much worse. Talk to your doctor. Contact your midwife or doctor and let them know that you are experiencing anxiety or panic attacks. Cognitive therapy is designed to help people replace their negative thoughts with realistic, positive ones. Medication under the supervision of a physician may be necessary for women experiencing panic attacks, because they are more likely to struggle with these issues postpartum. It is so important to try to remember to relax as much as possible during a panic attack. Focus on the fact that you'll typically start to feel better in just a matter of minutes. Countless mothers to be experience panic attacks. Although these attacks are uncomfortable, rest assured they won't physically harm you or your baby. Please check out for valuable courses in the description below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.